This video is to explain my Fromco Cricket. I've had a couple people ask me about it. It's a little tiny device. It's real thin. It has 4 capacitors on it, and it has an LED display. And the display will actually go up to the maximum voltage that your battery is delivering at that time. And then when you go out and you drive and you put a load under it, it'll come back and the maximum voltage will still be on, but it'll also be blinking to where the minimum voltage was at that point in time. It has a little LED display on it. I'm going to plug my battery in. I ordered a FTW fan that goes over top of my motor. It's actually larger in diameter than the fan that's on an RX-8 speed control. The stock voltage on an RX-8 speed control is preset from the factory at 6 volts, and you can't change it like you can the Castle speed controller, but it's arguable because some people say the voltage doesn't change on a Castle speed control despite whether you change it on the Castle Link or not. If I plug in my battery, the Fromco Cricket will arm itself, and it'll go back and it'll blink at the full voltage it is right now. I know you can't see this on the camera, but there's a 6 right there, and then a 5, and then it goes down in increments. So it's blinking just a hair under 6 volts right now. And keep in mind this is a secondary system. My fan is running in my speed controller, and I also have capacitors built into the RX-8 speed controller. Now, when you use the capacitors in the speed controller or BEC to run things like a fan or a transponder or things like that, it takes away from your voltage for your servo or anything else like that. To give you some idea as to how much power the Cricket holds, I mean, my fan's on my speed controller and my lights are blinking, and so is my, and watch, I'll unplug it. Still blinking. Still slowing down. Still blinking. I mean, that stores a lot of power. Still blinking. Ooh, done. So it can take up to 90 seconds to discharge that thing all the way because of the amount of power that Fromco Cricket stores. So by the time I put my fan on here, plug it into my receiver box. By the way, the Fromco Cricket just plugs into the receiver box, just an empty port anywhere, and it's very, very easy to install. But let me power it up one more time. System arms itself, and then I use an Airtronics M11X radio. I'll power that on real quick, and I'll show you what I meant real quick. The max voltage is blinking right now. I don't know how well you can see it, but I'll put a load under it, and by load I mean I'll use the steering servo. See? Now it's still at a max voltage, but the volt one below it is blinking now. And that's signifying that I use that volt. And as I use voltage, like say I got my fan running, I come back from a huge run and it's down 2 or 3, it'll tell you that. You never want to get into the red voltage. The red voltage means you drop too low. And when you have a drop in voltage, you have a spike in current, and current is what damages sensitive electronics. But I mean, my servo will go like lightning right now because it doesn't have any shortage in power from my internal BEC on my RX-8 speed control. Because my Cricket is like, I'm going to kick ass. So that's a Fromco Cricket. And yeah, I already ordered this cooling fan, but when this cooling fan's running, it won't take any power from my internal BEC. My speed controller will last longer. I'll even unplug that, and I mean the Cricket will power down slow. Speed controller's still on. Battery unplugged. I mean, the thing stores a tremendous amount of power. My transponder's still blinking. So, neato.